Hey, I just wanted to jump on real quick and talk about restrictive covenant. Today in the elite group, I asked, do you know what it is? And I didn't know until I watched this program about it last night, where the Pennsylvania Medical Commission, I believe, went before our state representatives to ask that it would be removed. So, restrictive covenant is basically a contract that doctors have within a health system. So let's just say if they work for one of the biggest health systems in our city and they were fired. Well, if they were fired, then the contract states that they cannot work within 10 to however many miles from there. So it's sort of like I forget what it's called, but you can't, you sign the contract. So that's leaving a lot of doctors the only option to leave our region. So there's a large amount of young doctors leaving Pennsylvania because they cannot get jobs once they sign this restrictive covenant, and it no longer works out. The other side of that is doctors are being fired if they say that they don't agree with certain things, if they don't like the way, their offices are being ran, anything like that, they're getting fired. So if they get fired, then there would be a they would be put on a blacklist, basically. And so once that happens, you can't work anywhere within the system. Also, you sign this covenant, so you can't work within 10 miles of this hospital. And if we're thinking of the biggest one in our region, that leaves you without a job for a long distance. Everywhere you go, there's a clinic, there's a hospital. So what are you to do? So they leave our region. But the other sad part about it is they're saying, listen, I can't even go out of the country because there's hospitals outside of the country, so then I cannot work within 10 miles of that hospital. It's a little sad and it's a little scary, and the doctors are saying they're basically being bullied. In order to get a job, they're being bullied. And one of the state reps, and I couldn't remember his name, he was saying that, any nonprofit should not have these punitive actions for doctors, for anyone. There shouldn't be punitive action. If it was a for-profit agency, then yeah, they can set them, but for nonprofit, no. And so basically it comes down to patients are being abandoned, patients are losing their doctors, doctors are afraid to speak up about things that they feel aren't right because basically they're being bullied, because if they say something, they lose their job, and then they're having a hard time finding new jobs. That's why a lot of doctors are leaving our region. They even gave an example about a doctor. They got rid of a doctor. He was a a cancer doctor who worked on the colon, right? And so one doctor had got fired, let go, and there was only one, and the patient was due to have colorectal surgery. And because they didn't have another doctor, schedules was pushed back and the patient's surgery was pushed back. So for someone with cancer, that is detrimental not to have their surgery when they're supposed to. So all of it comes down to patient care, patients being abandoned. So then I said, oh, well, this affect us as nurse practitioners. And it definitely will, because anything that affects physicians basically end up affecting us as providers. So, we have to be aware of these things that are going on and make sure that we are aware before we sign any contracts with any agencies, any hospitals. Read the fine print, have your lawyer look over it, because this is definitely real. And if it's happening to the top of the food chain, it will more than likely trickle down. So that was just my thought for today. I hope it helps someone, and I hope you guys have a great day. Deuces.